Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another video from Pistol Tutorial. My name is Diani Baloy. So I'll be giving you lessons today on organic chemistry. So we'll be looking at organic chemistry, try to understand what organic chemistry is, its definition, and also try to understand the element at the center of it all, which is called carbon, and why carbon is called the element of life, and why not the other elements that are available and have similar properties to carbon, and also. Happy New Year. This is our first video of the year. So let's just get to it, right? So, organic chemistry is the study of carbon containing compounds and their properties, right? And their properties, right? So this is essentially the study of life. Why is it the study of life? Because organic compounds, which is the carbon containing compounds, are found in all living matter. Right. Oh, I'm realizing that this matter only has one T, so I shouldn't be teaching you bad grammar, right? So let's just do this. Rest. So it's found in all living matter, right? It also takes so how is it found in all living matters? Living matter is found in the DNA. It takes it's part of bioprocesses that take place in the living organisms, right? So yeah, it's very essential to life because DNA is essential to life, and the bioprocesses that occur, which produce energy, which produce all kinds of um, which are all kinds of chemical processes that are very essential to live in. Uh, Carbon is part of, right? So it's very important. That's why it's called it's very essential, and it's called the element of life, or rather the chosen element of life, right? Emphasis on the chosen. Uh, Not a background today, but let me just remove this. So chosen written like this, right? So this is the chosen element of life. So let's just explore why is carbon the chosen element, right? So we have a few reasons. The first one is because it's naturally occurring, right? So carbon is so if it's naturally occurring, that means that to these are two C's, right? And you are. So that means that it will be abundant, right? It's naturally occurring, it's abundant, and it's versatile, right? So it's versatile, and there are other reasons for this, and there are other reasons, but let's not dive too much in that because we're not trying to study carbon, but rather the organic chemistry, right? Which is the process which carbon is part of, right? So if this is natural occurring, right? It explains itself abundant because of this reason, right? And versatile. This is because of the number of bonds that carbon can form, right? So it can create many configurations, right? So we'll be looking at this when we start looking at deeper into hydrocarbons. We look at alcohols. We'll be looking at aldehydes, esters, all those kind of those organic compounds or those compounds, right? That will make us understand. Oh, okay, so it has many configurations. That's why it's versatile, right? Because it can be found there, it can be found there, it can be found there. So different configuration of the same thing. That's what carbon is capable of. So that's why it's the chosen element of life, right? So what about other elements? So other elements which have similar properties have some kind of shortfalls, right? For example, silicon. Silicon is one of them. Silicon is very similar to carbon, but the problem is it's not abundant because it's what? It's locked up in rocks, right? It's locked up in rocks, right? So it cannot be the chosen element of life, right? So that's an element that's very similar to carbon, but carbon was the chosen element of life. When life took place, it was available, naturally occurring, abundant, and versatile. That's why. So let's just look at the God, what is this? The molecular structure of carbon. So carbon is like this. So in the periodic table, you find it in the under group 4, right? So it's under group 4. and it has 6 electrons and 6 protons, and then it has a molar mass of 12 grams per mole, right? And then this is our 6 electrons, so that will be your um, electrons and protons. Let me just this this is not a good presentation of protons, so let's just write protons, right? Yes, 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 yes. The protons are also yes. So that's a proton. Up there, it's a electron. So the molecular structure is like this. So let's just draw it. So here, this is our nucleus, right, at the center of your atom, and then this is carbon. So you have six neutrons and 6 protons. That's I won't explain that. That's a different thing. You learn this in grade 10, grade 9 on the when you start learning about yeah, about compounds, right, and atoms. So the first layer uh, is surrounded by electrons, right, to kind of to keep this atom stable, right? So you have two in the first layer, and in the second layer, you have you will have one, two, three, four, right? So that's 6 electrons in total. So that's our carbon. And these, if you remember, this at the end here, these are and on the outer shell are called valence electrons. So these are electrons in the outermost shell of your molecular structure, right? So this means what? That means that carbon can form four bonds, right? Four single bonds or uh, double bonds or triple bonds. It can form 4 bonds, you see, and then it will depend on the type of bonds that it's forming. So that's what carbon is, right? And carbon forms 4 bonds. So when there's the lessons that will follow from this video will um will show you why it was essential to actually have a foundation on why on the molecular structure of carbon, why it's abundant and why it's important in organic chemistry, right? So this is carbon, and essentially we could talk more about carbon, but let's just to keep it short, precise, and to the point, right? So this was the first section. So you can check out more videos on to understand why organic compound is organic chemistry is serious, but organic chemistry is essentially the start of life, right? We have food containing carbon. We have all kind of products that we use containing carbon, right? These are organic compounds which are essential to our, even our bodies contain carbon, right? The plants, trees, and everything. So that's why we need to understand, because the start of life is very important to understand what's around us, right? So that's why we do organic chemistry. So in the next video, we'll be looking at on hydrocarbons to try to understand what the hydrocarbons are, and fun fact, hydrocarbons are used in the production of fuels, right, or petroleum, jet, all those kind of things. So one of my point is I'm trying to make it practical on why we study chemistry, right, or organic chemistry, is because we're trying to understand things around us, right? So see you on the next video.